Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Director of Football Challenge with Livorno. Now in today's episode we review the fixtures to see how we've placed in the league, and we've got the final game of the season against Palermo. So the last time we met was the draw against Sampdoria. I think it was 1-1, and then we followed that up with a 4-2 away defeat against Perugia. Now this was one of them fixtures where I did look at it and think maybe this might be where we get the 3 points which could help secure our place in this division, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. Shea Picasso did get a double for us in the 67th and 92nd minute, and despite it seeming like a close contest, they sort of ran away with it in the first half. Another game and another defeat, this time at home to Pescara. Siricetti got a goal in the 31st minute with a penalty, and unfortunately we could not make our dominance count. Again, this is one of them fixtures where you would look at this and say, right, you've got a real chance here to get 3 points, and we've let it go. Fortunately, after that, we went away to Cagliari, who were in the relegation zone at the time of playing, and we managed to scrape through with 3 points. Completely undeserved, might I add. Shea Picasso getting the goal in the 87th minute that gave us the win. We then had an away tie against Crotone, which we drew 2-2. Skrbec and Jonsgaard on the score sheet for us. Antakoric did miss a penalty, which could have gave us the 3 points, but a point was enough. Then in the last game before we play Palermo today was against Torino. Skrbec gave us the lead in the 13th minute, but Alberto Sarri got a late equaliser for them, and that sees the table looking like this. We are sitting in 15th position on 39 points, 9 points clear of 18th place Cagliari, so we are more than comfortably staying in this division. But in terms of our previous finishes in the league, so let's say we get beat today and we finish on 39. Last season we finished on 41, the season before that we finished on 42, and the season before that, our first season in Serie A, we finished on 49. So what you're seeing there is a gradual decline in our results from season by season if we don't win today. So this is the lineup that's going to face Palermo today. Rodak will start in goal. Belangioli, Balbuena, Marquisa and Gasparo in defence. Ronaldo Vieira, Matezelli, Jonsgaard and Antakoric in the diamond, with Shea Picasso and Brignola leading the line as Skrbec, whatever his name is suspended. So we kick off final game of the season, and not a lot to play for on our end. I do believe Palermo are in 6th position in the league, so they could potentially get European football with a win today. Yeah, they are in 6th, and they could get overtaken by Sampdoria if the result was to go against them, so they will be definitely up for this match. Highlight 20 minutes in, and Balic is on the ball for Palermo, switches it out to the right hand side for Gilberto. Great ball in, Lofaso was there, and I think he hits the foot of the post and it goes wide. Another highlight now, this time we are in possession, and Gasparo just gives it away to Gilberto. Matezelli wins it back in the centre of midfield, and Vieira can now dictate from deep. Antakoric to Belangioli on this right hand side. Decent ball in. Who's there? Is that Shea Picasso with a header? Doesn't happen very often, but Shea Picasso has got himself a headed goal, and the referee is going to use VAR. Give it 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes since being given us a goal. That'll do for me. Belangioli with a decent ball in, and Shea Picasso with a header. I actually initially thought the defender had headed it in, but Shea Picasso gets the goal, and despite an early domination from Palermo, we take the lead. Another highlight now, in Di Stefano to Santoro on the edge for Palermo. 30 minutes in now. A really wayward cross there, but they managed to keep possession. Angelari plays the ball in. Balic on the edge. Come on, somebody get a challenge in, get rid. And Santoro, I think he scored 2 goals against us in the last time we played Palermo. He gets himself a goal at his 5th goal of the season in the 32nd minute. That was just a calamity by us. We could not get rid of the ball for love nor money. The ball just bobbling about. And Santoro with an absolutely fantastic finish. And Rodak can't do anything about that one. And that's going to be it for the first half. Half time going 1-1. Despite them seemingly dominating, we do manage to go in level. I wouldn't be surprised if they smashed us in the second half though. Highlight now, Radesca comes forward with the ball. Lofaso's through. Oh my god, Balbuena and Belangioli have just completely messed everything up there. We'll see that again in 3D. Radesca does well to drive through the heart of our midfield, and Balbuena should be getting rid of that, but it hits Belangioli, and Lofaso can go through and slot that in too easily. Highlight now, Lofaso again with the ball for Palermo. Ben Yedder is slotted through, and Wasim Ben Yedder gets another goal to make it 3-1 Palermo. That was a pretty good strike, I'll not lie. Some decent play on the left hand side by Palermo, and Lofaso with a great ball through. Top corner finish, there was no saving that. And Palermo look like they're going to secure European football for next season. 10 minutes to go. We'll make some changes. David Agazi we're going to get on. Salerno we're going to get on for Balbuena. We're going to get Samuel Longo on for Enrico Brignola. 10 seconds remaining in this match. This is probably going to be all she wrote for this game. And there's a challenge. And there's the full-time whistle. Palermo 3, Livorno 1. A bit of a nothing game really. I don't really mind too much how that game went. So this is how the league table looks after that final game of the season. There is still a game to be played. A couple of games to be played. But pretty much everyone's going to be where they are going to finish. Lecce, Genoa and Cagliari get relegated from the division. Lazio having an incredibly poor season, finishing in 16th place. Roma as well having a poor season themselves, finishing in 12th position. Sampdoria, Palermo and Fiorentina qualifying for the Europa League. And Juventus, Inter Milan, AC Milan and Napoli qualifying for the Champions League. And Napoli are champions, so they have won Serie A for this season. Juventus having an uncharacteristically poor season, an incredibly poor season, that far away from off the pace. Now, in terms of the players who performed for us this season, Sheikh Bacassa's finished top goal scorer on 9 goals, which is an incredibly disappointing amount of goals for your top scorer to score, but that's how it goes. Belangiuoli has got the highest average rating for the side, our young Italian right back, who we'll quickly take a look at, finishing on 6.95 for this season. It's not too bad. He has sort of stopped developing a little bit. Some of his stats are going up quite a little bit, but not the sort of changes we were seeing last season. So we'll maybe bring in some competition for him next season in the right back slot. Ante Coric gets the most assists for the season. 28 games, 1 goal and 9 assists with a 6.65 average rating. He is wanted by a club who is Sassuolo. And if a decent offer comes in for him in the summer, I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't here next season. Ronaldo Vieira, best pass completion. Obviously one of our January signings. Came in and did reasonably well, I would say, despite being sent off 2 times. Belangiuoli with the most man of the matches. And a couple. David Agazi and Ronaldo Vieira with the worst red card records. So in terms of this, we'll talk about the series as a whole going forward. It is no longer going to be a Director of Football challenge. It is going to be a Director of Football sabotage. So I'm going to take over control of the incoming transfers and contract negotiations for those incoming transfers as well. And what the Director of Football is going to be in charge of is outgoing transfers. So we could very easily lose some of our key players, some of our best young players for pretty cheap because, as you've probably realised, Directors of Football are not the best at negotiating. So you've got the likes of Belangiuoli, Nut Johnsgaard, some of the other youngsters who might have interest in the summer from bigger clubs, and I'm not going to be in control of that. If they leave, it's the Director of Football's decision. It's his decision to decide how much we get for them. Obviously, I will be offering players out now on permanent deals. I want to get rid of some of the players who came up with us in Serie B and who've been a mainstay on our side. And as a result of that, they're on a lot of money for their current ability. So if we take a look at some of the contracts, Luka Bogdan's on nearly 30 grand a week. Ante Coric, it's up in the air whether he will stay. Same with Sheikh Bacassa. If the interest in them two does seem to be, concrete, I wouldn't be too disappointed in them leaving. Andrea Gasparo is definitely one who I wouldn't mind moving on, £24,000 a week. He's a decent backup option at that. That's probably the most he will ever be. Same with David Agazi. I wouldn't mind seeing him leave. Moreno, who our Director of Football signed in January for £2.4 million. I would like to see him leave the club. And there's a lot of players here on 15k and above who they're not really suited for this sort of level. So in terms of incoming transfers, I'm not sure what my transfer budget will be for the season. Don't know whether that's been decided. I don't think it has yet. But I'm going to be pretty much looking in every single position. Nobody is safe in this team. In terms of who I don't expect to get better than, Belangiuoli, I do expect to be our right back for next season. Nut Johnsgaard, who's been progressing just lovely in central midfield. I fully expect him to be here next season, although he does have a minimum fee release clause of, I think it's £17.5 million. So unless somebody activates that, I expect him to not only be at the club, but to be in the first 11. And of course, Skirbeck will obviously be in our first 11 if he's still here, which I fully expect him to be. So let's get into some of the end of season awards. Belangioli wins Fans Player of the Season. Like, that's not to be surprised of. Marek Rodak was signing of the season. I did think he would be probably the best signing for us in the January transfer window. Young player of the season at Belangioli. And Belangioli also got goal of the season, so let's take a look at that. So as we can see here, it is against Udinese. The ball is switched to his flank on the right hand side. And he just takes a strike with his left foot. And what a fantastic goal it was. So that's going to be me for another season with Livorno. I hope you understand the changes I'm going to make to the series. I was losing a little bit of enthusiasm to come and play the game, purely because of the lack of progress. You know, with this is our 4th season in Serie A, and not only are we not making progress, the players that we're signing weren't of the level of a Serie A player, never mind the potential that they could have. And I think in the interest of keeping it interesting, I'm definitely pleased that I'll be taking over the incoming transfers for next season. Anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, and if you're enjoying my content, get yourself subscribed. But until next time, take it easy.